Michael Jackson made over $1 billion in his lifetime, owned the most valuable music catalog in history, lived in a literal amusement park mansion, but at one point, he was $400 to $500 million in debt. So how does the biggest superstar on earth go from billionaire status to nearly broke? This is the financial rise and collapse of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson wasn't just an artist. He was a walking business empire. At his peak in the 1980s and 90s, he was making money from album sales, world tours, merchandising, endorsements. His album Thriller became the best-selling album of all time, moving over 70 million copies worldwide. And tours. His Bad Tour alone made around $125 million in the late 80s, which today would be worth hundreds of millions. But the real genius move? In 1985, Michael bought the ATV music catalog for about $47 million. That catalog included songs from The Beatles. Yes, Michael Jackson owned the rights to music written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Over time, that catalog exploded in value, eventually becoming part of Sony ATV, worth hundreds of millions. At this point, Michael Jackson wasn't just rich. He was building generational wealth. Now here's where things start to shift. Michael didn't live like a normal millionaire. He lived like a king. He bought the famous Neverland Ranch, a 2,700-acre property with a private zoo, an amusement park, a movie theater, a staff working around the clock. Maintaining Neverland alone cost millions per year. But that wasn't all. Michael was spending money on luxury art collections, rare antiques, jewelry, shopping sprees reportedly worth millions in a single day. There are stories of him walking into stores and saying, "I'll take everything." At one point, his monthly expenses were estimated between $2 to $6 million per month. That's up to $70 million a year, just to live. Even for a superstar, that's dangerous. Now here's the part most people don't realize. Michael Jackson's income started slowing down, but his spending didn't. After the 90s, album sales declined, tours became less frequent, and legal issues began costing him millions in settlements and fees. To keep up with his lifestyle, Michael started borrowing money, and not small amounts. He took out loans using his music catalog as collateral. At one point, he borrowed hundreds of millions from banks. So even though he technically still owned valuable assets, he was deep in debt. Estimates say by the mid-2000s, Michael Jackson owed around $400 to $500 million. That's when things got serious. Because of those loans, Michael was at risk of losing the very assets that made him rich, including his music catalog. Imagine that. The king of pop, losing ownership of his own empire. There were reports that banks were preparing to take control if he defaulted. That's when Michael made one final move. The This Is It tour in 2009. 50 shows in London. Completely sold out. This tour was supposed to pay off his debt, rebuild his finances, and bring him back to the top. He was set to make hundreds of millions. But tragically, he passed away before the tour began. And here's the crazy part. After his death, Michael Jackson became more profitable than ever. His estate earned over $2 billion in the years after he died. His music catalog value skyrocketed. His brand exploded again. And his debt was eventually paid off. Today, Michael Jackson is still one of the highest earning celebrities of all time, even in death. So what's the lesson here? Making money is one thing, but keeping it, that's a completely different game. Even $1 billion can disappear if the spending never stops. If you want more breakdowns like this, celebrities, money, and what really happens behind the scenes, hit subscribe. Because the next story might be even crazier.